Hello everybody and welcome to Thunderbird Stadium here at the University of British Columbia for this USL match between WFC 2 and the Seattle Sounders 2, a Cascadia clash here on the 4th of July weekend, Canada Day midweek, US Independence here this afternoon. Craig McEwen and Mark Rogers in the broadcast booth, and what a fantastic afternoon for football, and what a great matchup we have here between two Cascadia rivals.
What a beautiful day, Craig. You can expect a great high-tempo game, as you always do when you see a Cascadia derby. A little bit of a contrast in two teams with a contrast of fortunes, with Seattle riding high at second place in the Western Conference, while the Whitecaps on 16 points, good enough for 10th in the West. I think those type of things go out the window, though, when it's a derby-type affair.
Alan Koch has made a few changes here, as he always does when he looks at his lineup, and one guy in particular we'll be keeping an eye on, and interesting to see how he's progressing, is Andre Lewis. Yeah, he's just come back. He's had a few injury problems early in the season, but he's been away with the U23 team for Jamaica, of which he notched one goal against St. Lucia in their qualifying. And he'll be looking to come back into this environment and make an impression. Make an impression not just on Alan Koch, but also on first-team manager Carl Robinson. At the center of the back line, Jackson Farmer pairing with Craig Nitti again, and Farmer himself is going off to something very exciting after this match. Yeah, he's off to the Pan Am Games to represent Canada, along with Caleb Clark up front. And again, this is just another opportunity for the young man. Center back's a position often takes a little bit longer to get comfortable with. Obviously, when you're a younger player, mistakes cost goals, and it's the type of environment now today where he can try and get a clean slate, make a good impression, so that when he comes back from international, he leaves a nice taste in the manager's mouth. As for the visiting Sounders, this is the third time they faced the Caps. The last time they were here at UBC was a 1-1 draw, and they have a very experienced kind of squad for this type of setup, especially considering Major League Soccer. And one player who will be instrumental for them today is Sam Garza. Yeah, Sam Garza is a little bit longer in the tooth, for as long as the tooth as he can be at 26, than some of the younger Caps players. He gives a little bit of experience. He's been around the block a little bit. He's been with San Jose Earthquakes before this stop with S2. But yeah, I mean, they're two teams with similar philosophies. Just a little, that 2-3 years older on average for the Seattle Sounders, minimizes some of those young player mistakes, and that's probably alluding to some of their league positions so far, Craig. The two teams make their way out to center field for the national anthems. S2 coming off back-to-back shutout victories, while the Caps have been struggling just a little bit of late, but their last match here was full value for a victory. Lots of goals, lots of excitement, more than we hope to see today.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2, Seattle Sounders 2. Your referee for this afternoon's match is Juan Marquez. Of course, the Major League Soccer Caps in Colorado this evening, looking for another road victory. Last night, the Sounders' top team was victorious in their match against DC United. And when you take a look at things here, Mark, this afternoon and how they shape up, we saw last game at Thunderbird Stadium, it was a very quick start for Alan Koch's side, and I would assume that it'd be something that they want to get off on the front foot again here early on.
Especially after a game away at Orange County where they started a little bit slow, went down 2-0 before waking up and getting right back into that game. I think those are the type of lessons you want to learn in a young side. Start the way you intend to finish the game. And I think the Whitecaps want to get off to a roaring start, put Seattle on the back foot as quickly as they can, and carry on from there.
7 Canadians in the starting lineup for the host side, taking on the Sounders in their familiar rave green and blue attire. The Caps wearing the all-white kit here. Caleb Clark starting up front for Vancouver, and he was very good here last game out.
Excellent. Not just he provided some goals, he scored some as well. And I think you got to focus on him. If you're the Seattle Sounders, you're going to want to take him out of the equation. But not just him. McKendry, young Ben McKendry in midfield, he'll be asked to drop a little into more of a deeper role today, as opposed to playing in the number 10, which he has played recently. And also young Canadian Marco Bustos. He's going to come on in off the wing into the number 10 role. He's made a great impact since coming back from injury. He'll want to provide not just assists, but he also got his first marker 2 weeks prior, and will want to have the same type of impact against Seattle today.
The visiting Sounders go with the traditional 4-4-2 lineup, and lots of speed, lots of skill.
Very athletic side. I think very similar to what we saw from Portland Timbers a couple weeks ago. In the 4-4-2, but when they do lose it, look for Mansari to drop into the midfield to provide a bit of a midfield screen for the Caps playing forward. And obviously, you want to look out for Anderson up front. He's a 19-year-old St. Vincent and Grenadines international. A lot of hope for the kid, and he'll provide them with a lot of electricity up front.
As mentioned, this is the third time this season these two sides have faced each other. The Caps losing down in Seattle, but a 1-1 draw here at UBC, and Robert Earnshaw got the goal, and he is on the bench and available for selection here this afternoon for Alan Koch.
What a luxury to have a player of his experience, not just being able to provide something on the pitch, but off it. What a great example for the young players, the Whitecaps FC too. And if he gets his opportunity, he's still playing. He's going to want to make an impression as well. This is just an opportunity, if he gets to play, to provide a little bit more minutes in preparation for any need in the first team.
We're underway here at UBC. Once again, a fantastic sunny day. Just a half hour or so outside of downtown Vancouver as Caleb Clark goes looking for that. Plays it into Lewis. Ball's out for a Whitecaps throw-in. Sampson to Roseland. Roseland on the ball again. Dean forward for Levi. A player who just loves to go forward and attack, forced back momentarily and then turns over the ball. Long plays it forward. One back though by WFC2, and they retain possession and knock it about. Bustos looking for Clark. Aaron Long stepped in front of that one. Nitty forward and out.
You can already see the intent from the Whitecaps is to play at a high tempo, make sure the urgency levels are high, don't get lulled to sleep with a slow tempo game. Seattle drops off a little bit. You can see early doors, they're looking to bypass that midfield line.
O'Neill Fisher can't get onto that one. There is a bit of a breeze here, which is nice for the big crowd we have on hand for a big soccer weekend in the city of Vancouver. Of course, the Women's World Cup final goes tomorrow at BC Place, United States and Japan. What a great tournament that has been, and an outstanding job hosting by Canada. Long to Frano. He steps into Levi, and away goes Dean on the left-hand side. Looking for some support. It's bundled over and the free kick given.
Wonderful by Levi there. He takes advantage of a poor first touch by the Sounders fullback, and he's onto it like a flash. Doesn't back out of anything, nice and brave. And Dean is right behind him to win the second ball. So again, they're urgent. There's a good level of awareness in the Whitecaps to start the game. And they'll want to continue with that for sure. A well-earned free kick.
Big man Craig Nitty making his way up to get into the mix. Levi with the left footer. Nitty can't get on the end of it, but Clark does bring it down momentarily. Lewis in there to challenge, and it's all him for a Seattle throw.
You see the Caps again. They're going to, even on second balls around the 18, they're going to pressure nice and high. They're not going to sit off. You want to see if they can get something early in this game.
Bustos. Lewis spinning around, and referee Marquez blows another free kick from another dangerous spot.
Well, you can see Andre Lewis, instead of turning back and retaining possession, he's going to risk. In those areas, it's great if he can try and take somebody on. Worst case scenario, you get a foul. And it's another opportunity to get the big boys up from the back.
McKendry, the free kick there. Nitty trying to get on the end of it. Bustos over the bar, not troubling Charlie Lyon one bit.
Well defended by Seattle to win the first ball. There's bodies around for the second ball, and fairly comfortable defending by the Seattle Sounders on that set piece.
Mansoure tries to go up and win it, but McKendry gets to that one. Clash of heads. Lewis doing ever so well to track back and win back the ball. Dean with Garza chasing him. Garza scoring the last game for S2, coming off a big 2-0 victory over the Timbers 2 down in Portland. Back-to-back shutout wins for Seattle. As we mentioned in the opening, are right at the top of the Western Conference table in the USL. Bustos, good pressure there. O'Neill Fisher. Tries to play forward. Lewis wins it. Bustos. Sampson into McKendry. McKendry slicing his way forward outside to Andre Lewis. Lewis's cross not getting by anyone, but he does win the ball back.
Excellent pressure by the Caps to start the game.
Another whipped in ball low. That one dealt with by S2, who send it forward looking for Anderson. Anderson away, Carducci out. Carducci gets his right mid on it. Good stop there by Carducci, who then puts his arms up and stop to blast at the near post. Marco Carducci, large early on.
It's always the danger when you want to press high is that pressure can be released with one forward ball. And you see that Anderson gets the best of Nitty one-on-one there, but it's bailed out by the young goalkeeper from Winnipeg. Fantastic goalkeeping.
First corner of the afternoon for the Sounders. Nodded away. Lewis trying to win it back. But the Sounders retain possession. Carducci gathers on the long drive from Lowe. Roseland. Square to Dean, up to Levi. Looked to play in Clark, but he wasn't in the vicinity. And the Caps turn the ball over.
As I mentioned, Craig, they're just going to have to be a little bit wary that they don't get bypassed and isolated two center backs with such pace up front on any long or direct ball forward from the Seattle Sounders.
O'Neill Fisher to Long to Garza, cutting in on his left foot. Carducci handles that one with ease, with Olex Anderson sniffing around, looking for it. Dean now racing forward, outside of the foot towards Levi. Damian Lowe across there to knock that in, and Christian Dean has shown a want and a desire to push up the park very quickly.
Yeah, I think it's just another feather in his cap. I think everybody can recognize just by looking at him, he's a natural center back. But by adding a little bit of work in those wide areas, putting him in a little more possession-oriented position will only make him a better center back down the road. Looks like he's comfortable getting forward in possession. That's not a good reflection of what just happened.
Carducci out. And once again, Anderson there quickly. But part of the learning progression of a player in Dean and in wanting to be on the ball and then making maybe a mistake, but it's the only way that he'll get better as a pro.
He's got to put himself in those positions. He's got to get forward and not play too cautiously. That's more mistakes will happen if he plays with a hesitancy in his game.
Fisher to Kovar, back to O'Neill Fisher. And Surrey forward for Anderson. Tries to slip it in behind the Caps back four, but Carducci's there to gather cleanly.
Anderson doesn't lack for pace. He's very sharp, and when Mansouri drops into midfield, two center backs for the Whitecaps are going to have to get on their game as far as communication's concerned. Make sure McKendry and Roseland pick him up when he drops into those deep areas. Otherwise, he gets turned facing. It causes a lot of problems.
McKendry's left-footed try rolls to Charlie Lyon. And you mentioned that with this S2 side, how their two front runners in the 4-4-2 almost become one.
Yeah, they almost drop into a classic 4-2-3-1 when Mansouri drops. Both Kovar and Garza like to naturally play in nice wide areas, almost like traditional wingers. And it's important then if he starts high and drops in that both Farmer and Nitty communicate to the two holding players of the Whitecaps that he is dropping and that they're aware of him. You just saw also, Craig, from McKendry, what he loves to do is go box to box, and he can provide that. The big question mark and part of his development is making sure he picks and chooses when he can do that, be a little bit more disciplined in his game when he's playing in the holding role.
And Surrey. Fisher finds some support in Long. Frano up from his right back position to Garza. Back to Frano. Steps inside, but his touch lets him down, and WFC2 come away from that attempt, but turn the ball over here in a dangerous spot. Mansouri straight away, and won by Vancouver, and on comes Andre Lewis on the counter. Lewis.
Beautiful ball.
Nice ball to Clark with Levi racing forward. Caleb Clark slips it to Bustos, in behind the back four, lays it back to Lewis. And that ball is blocked. Danger still here though. Marco Bustos, top of the 18. Rosalind. Can't get away from his mark and route one down the park. S2 making no mistake in wanting to clear the danger there.
Wide open game, Craig, to start. Doesn't look like we'll be waiting long for our first goal in this one, but classic example, Bustos, very left-footed player, but if he gets into those little areas, the minute it cuts back on his right foot, he's so close to the goal that doesn't take even a perfect effort on goal for it to beat the goalkeeper. Can't turn down those opportunities for the young man, but again, part of his learning curve.
Ethan Sampson. Stopped there by O'Neill Fisher.
Good pressure again.
Levi wins it to Dean. Rosalind. Bustos. Dancing around. McKendry to Dean. Levi turns his man. Brett Levi lashes at it a bit. And Lyon gathers. Positive play from WFC2 in and around the 18.
And it all starts from winning the ball up high up the pitch. And you can see their intent is to go pressure and organize nice zonal pressure high up the pitch. Once they've won it back, they have bodies like Bustos and Levi, Lewis, who love having the ball at their feet and love getting at defenders.
Mata switches play to Kovar. O'Neill Fisher on the overlap. Kovar sends it in. Carducci. Sure hands on the whip, didn't cross there. Rolls to Sampson. McKendry to Nitty.
Tell you, Kovar won't need to be asked many times. He's got a wonderful left foot. Caps will have to be aware of that. It's a teasing cross. Just inviting somebody to get across the near post. Carducci did well to corral it in.
Low through the back of Caleb Clark, and referee Marquez blows that dead for a foul. Third decent free kick opportunity for Vancouver here in the first half of action at David Sadu Field at UBC. 0-0 the score as we approach the 15-minute mark. Ball sent in Caleb Clark's way, but once again defended well by Seattle. Anderson to Fisher. Lewis giving chase back. Kovar stepping inside. All the way out to the right on Garza. Frano looking to join him. Mata with the shot. Sergio Mata from distance. Finding some space and some room at the top of the 18.
It all starts with a good forward pass again to Anderson. Direct play. Caps will want to put a little more pressure on that first ball forward because it all starts from him holding the ball up, linking in with the Seattle midfielders.
Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. That's the USL on Facebook. Follow at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways. 2 important ways for you to stay in touch with the USL as Caleb Clark is offside. No need to tweet that, although looked a little suspicious from our angle up here.
Tell you what, I mean, the ball's come from miles away. Didn't seem like he started in an offside position. A little bit tricky to see from here. It's good, the occasional forward ball that makes the defense turn, keeps them on their toes, and if they do start to waver in the heat, they'll start to drop deeper, which creating more space in midfield for the Caps, where they have often a numerical advantage.
Lyon looking for Aaron Kovar. Ethan Sampson strong in that challenge.
As mentioned at the beginning, Craig, Caps will want to be wary of giving away too many set pieces. Seattle's a big athletic side, and it's another opportunity for them to get big boys like Miel up from the back, who scored here as an equalizer, and the last time out when they faced here at Thunderbird.
Garza sends that in dangerously towards the near post. Miele was there looking for that one. Big central defender, but that ball's given away, and now the Caps have numbers moving forward. Bustos to Lewis. Lewis back towards Bustos. Clark looking for it.
Wow, what a chance. What a chance.
And referee Marquez has blown the play dead. As looked like Lyon might have bounced off the post and knocked the net off.
Well, you see Lewis, he's provided a great angle of support for Bustos. But the picture is not going to improve anything better by taking that extra pass in the 18. Bustos set the table for him. Now it's the opportunity for you to take your chance. That extra pass often usually the picture gets a little bit more tricky. So in that situation, you got to look to, if you're Lewis, he'll be thinking, you know what, that was my opportunity to bury one. You don't get many 3-on-1 chances in a game, but certainly wide open. There are chances for both sides to start the game. Caps will be very happy, despite that miss, with their start here.
Farmer settles, plays in Carducci. With Olex Anderson giving chase. Referee Marquez blowing the foul there as McKendry taken down just on the Seattle side of halfway. Bustos, Levi.
Oh, wonderful.
Lewis to Bustos, tried to cut in on his left foot. Rough going there. Lewis with the blast.
So hard to pick up and defend that. Levi comes right off the wing to link up with Bustos. Love the way Bustos gets on the ball, gets facing their defense, causes all sorts of problems. Do you go? Do you stay? And I like the interchange between both Levi and Bustos to start this match.
Like a handball there on Bustos. So even though that Andre Lewis blast was flying towards the target, would not have counted had it gone in. Carducci to Farmer. Roseland. Dean. Levi. Trying to make a run in behind Frano. Ball doesn't go that way. It comes back onto the right-hand side of the park. McKendry to Farmer. Closed off there by Anderson. So safely back to Carducci, who plays in Nitty. Nitty looking to go forward, but Caleb Clark was marked up well. Farmer tries to force it in there. One back nicely there, though, by McKendry. Dean on the left-hand side. Levi making the run up front of him. Dean. Bustos trying to get onto his favored left foot. That shot attempt is blocked. And S2 gives it straight back to McKendry. Levi doesn't like what he sees, so he plays it back to Dean. Brett Levi. Roseland. Lewis. Sampson out here on the right-hand side, and that's where he looked to go. Roseland intercepts it. Bustos to Sampson. Nice build-up, but the end result, not what WFC2 wanted.
No, but nice football from the Caps. Again, you know, you see they're always looking forward. Can I play forward? When it's not on, start again. And they're not just starting again in a ponderous way, moving the ball quickly, trying to create gaps in the Seattle defense.
Nitty to Dean. Watch there by Anderson. Dean once again running at players from his left back position. Finds it one more time. Plays to Levi. Caleb Clark trying to spin away. Brett Levi. That ball sent all the way across the 18, and Aaron Kovar to O'Neill Fisher. Seattle head coach Ezra Hendrickson felt maybe that throw should have gone his club's way.
Alan Koch will be happy with the way the Caps have started. Only disappointing, and be a little disappointed with the ruthless nature of their work around the 18-yard box. But very good going forward, winning the ball back in the opposition's third at regularity. You can see the frustration starting to mount a little bit with Seattle.
O'Neill Fisher bowling over Marco Bustos. And referee Marquez quick to blow his whistle. Now Ben McKendry over the ball. Another good opportunity for WFC2. With this set piece as Marco Bustos and Ben McKendry talk things over. Nitty making a run. Can't get on the end of that. And Garza quickly away as S2 looked to counter. Kovar. Left foot lets him down there. It's out for a goal kick, but you can see how dangerous Seattle is once that ball turns over off that free kick.
Yeah, even off the free kick or even during the run of play, Craig, because Whitecaps' intent is to send bodies forward, thereby leaving themselves a little bit vulnerable for quick counterattack. It's an intriguing game that way so far. Both teams creating space in the opponent's final third.
Farmer pushes forward. Sprays it Dean's
Beautiful
way.
ball again.
Christian Dean's touch a little too heavy. Brett Levi gives a thumbs up for the effort. Execution just needing a little bit of work.
Beautiful crossfield ball though by Farmer. And you can see when he's bringing out, he's looking, can I play forward? Can I? And it's only with great reluctance that he starts again. What happens is Seattle's defense then has to drop. There's not enough pressure on the ball. And even if they do start again, they're starting further up the pitch. You can see Farmer right now, Craig communicating to his midfield, making sure their movement's good, creating space in there, making Mansour track back and work defensively.
Caleb Clark with low on him. Dean, back heel to Clark, but that ball's out for a throw.
Oh, we all know what Dean's athletic ability brings. I mean, he is one hell of a beast. But even in those areas, he's gotten in, he looks a little bit uncomfortable. Just want to simplify your game. You know, when you don't have to play the back heel, just play a simple 10-yard pass. If you can just simplify that, they'll start to get a little more success in those areas.
Sampson all the way back to Carducci. Farmer. Almost overhandling it, but rights the ship and picks out Nitty. Goes forward to Levi. Bustos. Lewis on the right-hand side. Andre Lewis. Sampson on the overlap. Decides to go the opposite direction towards Dean. Levi. Spinning. Just unfortunately for him, can't get much power on that shot, but nice movement by Brett Levi.
Oh, he loves to come inside from the wing, and what happens is he can so in touching distance with Bustos, and it just creates all sorts of havoc in the Sounders back four, because they don't know, again, as the center back or the fullback, who's responsible for him when he comes into those areas.
Very good at finding the gaps and also racing through them when he has the ball at his feet.
Yeah, he's a joy to watch. He just plays with youthful exuberance, and you know, it's almost like he doesn't know what he doesn't know at this stage of his development, and he just goes to try and score goals when he gets the ball at his feet. I think it's a great attribute. It's a rare one in a lot of Canadian youngsters who play overly cautious.
Maybe some long prairie winters on the indoor surface, just running at players constantly has helped him. Ball sent in towards Carducci. He gathers cleanly and easily.
But you even see a little bit of growth there in his defensive game. He sees that Seattle are looking to switch play. He cuts that switch off, and in the end makes them play a very risky forward pass and turnover possession. So it's seeing a little bit of growth in his defensive side of his game as well, which is a massive positive.
Andre Lewis does his best to keep that in, but doesn't. WFC2 are back at Thunderbird Stadium this coming Friday, July 10th, for another Cascadia clash against Portland Timbers 2. Tickets, just $15. Live music, food trucks, family activities, and good vibes all around. It's a fantastic atmosphere out here at UBC. A great opportunity to see the young up-and-coming players in this organization. That's July 10th. Portland Timbers 2 here at David Sedou Field. Ball given away there by Clark. Aaron Kovar does well to slip away.
He's a very tidy player, Kovar. In England they call him Jinky. He loves having the ball on his left foot in tight spaces, not much different than Levi.
O'Neill Fisher up from his left back position, can't keep that one in.
I think the Caps will be happy with this start. They're playing a very strong opponent in the Seattle Sounders. For large periods of the time, I think they've executed their game plan very well, winning the ball so high up the pitch, creating opportunities. So that final piece of the puzzle is being a little more ruthless in the final third. But it's something that Alan Koch can address at halftime. From Seattle's perspective, they've had far less possession, but are still creating opportunities on the counterattack.
Sampson plays it forward to McKendry. Fortunate bounce, finds Sampson, whips it in.
Beautiful ball by Sampson.
Frano nods away. Miele tries to head it out of danger, can't do it. McKendry goes down. Referee Marquez says play on. And once again, Seattle goes direct up the field, trying to spring Anderson. But nicely defended there by WFC2.
Yeah, Anderson won't relish balls up around his neck and head against Nitty and Farmer.
Bustos. Levi trying to win that. But Giuliano Frano gets the better of that, and Garza forward now. And Surrey. Flag up for offside on Olex Anderson.
Well spotted by Farmer. You can see him looking along the line. Spots that Anderson's in an offside position. Just holds his line. Waits that forward pass, gets his hand up like the classic Arsenal back four. Draws the offside. But again, if Seattle can get forward ball into Anderson's feet, it's advantage Seattle because he's very sharp on the ball. But any balls lofted up high, you give the advantage to Nitty and Farmer there.
Farmer all the way out to the left-hand side to Levi. Not a lot of support. It does
nice
find
crossfield
Roseland.
ball, eh?
There's a foul and a yellow card to Sam Garza, and the foul on Levi.
In this type of heat, Craig, when Farmer gets across half and he's able to connect on that crossfield ball, just makes the Seattle shift much more quickly. And it's tiring, you know, especially in the heat down on the turf. And what happens, it draws fouls because they start getting tired of the mind and start getting a little bit less cautious, a little more anxious in the tackle. We'll draw free kicks in these areas. So 2 wonderful crossfield balls by Jackson Farmer. See Allen having a chat with Lewis. Like a lot of the work, what he's been doing. Much like Levi, he's coming in off the wing. He's linking up with Bustos. And he's getting into some really good, dangerous areas.
Another set piece. Charlie Lyon comes to punch. Ends up hitting his own player in the head, and back comes S2. Garza staying with it. Has lots of support. Kovar can't get on the end of it because that's out for a goal kick. Dangerous setup there as Garza goes down on the whack after crossing that ball. But S2 not afraid to get numbers forward quickly when they do counter.
Yeah, and the classic example of what they have to be wary of, though. Garza's electric pace-wise. Nice for McKendry. Doesn't give up. He gets beaten for pace, recovers, forces Garza to puts himself in a position to defend Garza again. But kudos to the Seattle Sounders man. He isn't put off by a couple of tackles as well, and he, in the end, he delivers across, maybe slightly overhit, but more danger for Seattle on the counterattack, Craig.
Levi, top of the 18. Levi cuts left, then right, and just misses the mark. But you just see the defenders flying by him. They don't know which way he's going to turn.
No, and again, he comes in off the wing. He gets into a central area, cause all sorts of problems. And even when he gets that one-on-one, he only needs a half step to get his shot away. He'll be a little disappointed if he dragged it just wide. But you know he has the quality to hit the target from there. Again, more of the same. From him, he'll be looking just to continue to get on the ball in those areas right hovering around the center of the 18-yard box. A nice thing to see the awareness from the young man Bustos to play off of that, make sure they're not crowding that space.
O'Neill Fisher. Mansouri. Gain control. Mata, the up and under, looking for Anderson. Kovar, watched there by Sampson. Stepped in and won nicely there by McKendry, and back comes Vancouver the other way. Ben McKendry.
Oof.
Goes down, referee Marquez says no foul there, but Ben McKendry pleading his case.
Tell you what, looked like there was contact there. Another great forward run by McKendry. He's not embarrassed to take on players, and it sure looks like he drew enough contact to warrant a foul there around the 18-yard box. Ref wasn't convinced.
McKendry winning that header. O'Neill Fisher back the other way as the ball ping-pongs about till it finds Nitty all the way back to Carducci. The chasing Anderson. Marco Carducci goes up the field. Nitty loses possession. This is dangerous as S2 race down, Farmer over, looking for Anderson. Anderson over top of the mark, and Nitty gives up the ball but does well to get back very quickly. And fortunately for WFC2, S2 does not capitalize on that chance.
Nitty gets caught dwelling on the ball a bit, but what a recovery tackle by Ethan Sampson. Doesn't quit on the play. Wonderful tackle, because there is no margin for error there. If he gets any contact with Anderson, draws a penalty and likely a card.
Garza to Mata. Somehow, some way, he keeps the ball going forward. That's out for a goal kick. For the good spell here, WFC2 put under pressure by the Sounders 2. Their pace and purpose showing in the last couple of opportunities.
Yeah, they attack with an intent, and it's direct. And I'm not talking aerially direct, but on the ground they look to penetrate very quickly. They have players and athletes that can implement that style of play. When you look at Kovar, Garza, Anderson, Mansouri, they're all athletic, fast, purposeful attacking players.
Lewis playing it forward for Clark. Just in behind him. Goes to Charlie Lyon.
You see Clark just giving him the thumbs up, Craig, because he makes the run. He tries to connect with him. Okay, it doesn't hit him, but if he knows it only takes one good ball there, and he's in.
Nick Miele forward. Then plays back his partner in the back, Lowe, who launches it towards Anderson. Sampson once again in strong on the challenge. Fisher. Kovar, watched there by Ethan Sampson. And Carducci does well. Or does he not do well? Apparently that is out for a corner kick. I thought Marco Carducci got across to keep that in play. Taken short to Kovar. Garza. And that's off the mark. USL soccer.com. Have you visited the new site? Get the latest news and live stats and check out the new social media hub. That's uslsoccer.com. Lewis on the right-hand side, closed down there quickly, but finds McKendry. McKendry sends it in towards Clark, and it's over his head. And gathered there by Lyon. Nitty over on Anderson. That's a WFC2 throw-in. Levi gives it away, though. Bustos does well to win that back and then dance in and around. A number of Seattle players keeping possession for WFC2. Composure and skill galore for the youngster.
You can see why Whitecaps fans are excited about him as a prospect. Very sharp feet.
Sampson with Lewis showing. Goes back to Roseland. Nitty with it. Out wide to Dean. The 1-2. Dean! What a finish! Christian Dean delivers here late in the first half.
Cracking goal for the Whitecaps. Brilliant goal. It starts with a center back, come left back. We spoke earlier about playing with a little bit simply, just makes a simple 1-2 with Levi. Weight of the pass by Levi here is perfect. He just opens his body on his weaker right foot and just guides it in. What a wonderful goal. That's been coming, and Caps have gotten into some great areas around the Seattle Sounders 18-yard box. Been a little bit wasteful in those errors, not there. Wonderful combination and goal by the Whitecaps.
Christian Dean opening the scoring here with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. WFC 2 strike first, 1-0.
Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2-goal. His first of the season, scored by number 22, Christian Dean.
Oh, it's a great time to score, Craig, just before half. Caps will want to be wary of the intent now of Seattle to equalize before halftime.
Christian Dean's first of the year. Set up by Brett Levi. A brilliant 1-2 on the left-hand side. Dean overruns it there, but McKendry is quick to help clean up and tidy up with Garza trying to go the other way.
Yeah, nice and alert to the danger there. But what a return pass by Levi. Perfectly weighted, just inviting for Dean to run onto, and first time past the Seattle Sounders goalkeeper.
O'Neill Fisher to Kovar, back to Fisher. Tried to play the opposite fullback, Frano. That ball was cut out. Lowe with Caleb Clark all over him. Damian Lowe spins away, sends it forward, but Nitty is up for the challenge there. Nods it not once, but twice. Ball falls fortuitously, though, for Kovar. Anderson. Mata. Carducci, a huge stop there, cleared away by Nitty. And almost with one shot, S2 could have tied this game up. Kovar tries to slip it in, gets it back. As the visiting Sounders set up shop here late in the Whitecaps half. Mansoure with Kovar making a run. That's Mata. Frano cut out nicely there by Levi. Couldn't pick out Caleb Clark, although Bustos quickly to it and wins it back for Vancouver. Marco Bustos with Lewis making a run forward.
You know, I mentioned earlier, Craig, about Levi's improvement in defensive areas. We've seen him cut off a couple switch crosses, but there he works tirelessly to go close down, wins the ball, and sets them on the counterattack. Fantastic work by Bustos as well.
Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information. Mansoure. Kovar. Watched there by Sampson. Long. Once again, Seattle gives the ball away, and once again, the Caps are away to the races up the park. Bustos to Levi. With Dean up supporting. The big left back. Called for the foul there. Amazing what a goal will do for you sometimes.
Yeah, he's not been embarrassed to get forward so far. That's great. Again, tendency for center back playing fullback is to sit in, be cautious. But he's there right away to help out Levi. Try and win the ball back as high as they can. You can see that's been a game plan of the Whitecaps so far this first half.
Nitty strong in the challenge. Clark comes back to race after it. Charlie Lyon deflects off Caleb Clark. He holds his head in his hands. hoping for a better bounce the next time, but good pressure there by the young striker, Caleb Clark. As referee Marquez blows the whistle for the end of the first half. Very entertaining. And what a goal by Vancouver.
Oh, well executed. And I think a goal was coming for either team. You see Seattle get into some really dangerous areas, bailed out there by Sampson on the counterattack and by Carducci early in the first half. But the Caps have edged it for sure first half with their possession, endeavor around the edge of the 18. Getting this half war on them going, are they going to really challenge the goalkeeper? But boy, did they ever with that goal. Perfectly executed, and that interplay between Dean and Levi pays off for them and gives them a deserved 1-0 edge at halftime.
Christian Dean with his first of the season gives the Caps the lead here after 45 minutes of play out at UBC. We'll be back for the second half of action in just a little bit. Please join us in about 10 minutes time when we return here to UBC.
Might offend somebody with that.
Oldest player. That's a tough one.
Yeah. The older.
I believe it's Pedro.
Look older, Coffee. I'll go with Mauro.
No, I pass.
Yeah, I think it's Pamaduka.
What?
Is it Pa? Pamaduka, okay.
Kyle?
But Coffee, I think is the more older than him, or the face. Coffee.
Oh, that's gotta be my boy, man. Bustos.
Is it Marco Bustos?
Like Teixeira, but for the small guy.
Marco?
Which Marco?
No, that's true. It's one of the two.
I don't know.
Bustos.
The youngest player would have to be my residency friend, Marco Carducci.
Carducci?
You're looking at him.
Christian Dean. Yeah.
Christian Dean.
Christian. Yeah.
I think it was NBA last year draft. Christian
Dean's brother with OKC, right? Yeah.
All right, I found this out after talking to him about it. Christian Dean and to Oklahoma City.
Hey Whitecaps fans, another edition of Roommates on Your Road. I'm your host, Jordan Harvey, and we're about to interview Ben McKendry and Eric Hurtado. Let's see what they're up to. Hopefully aren't sleeping. What's up?
Hey.
This is Roommates on Your Road. Can we come in?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
How we doing, dude? Good. Oh, so, How long have you guys been roommates?
A week now, right?
And I mean, really, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Favorite roommate so far.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And why is that?
Why is that? He's a good guy, you know, he's funny, cracks jokes all the time. We like the same TV shows, like the same music. So.
And Ben, how's Eric doing so far?
Eric's great. Yeah, we just hang out a lot. Calls his girlfriend every night, says good night and everything. So no, he's a great roommate to be with.
And how do those conversations go with his girlfriend?
He kind of whispers. I feel like he's trying to like hide it in his yeah.
I think all the people watching right now, in the back of their heads, all they want to do is hear Eric rap. We gotta get E-Money on the mic, dude. Can we get a little rap about Ben?
A little rap about Ben? I can't do that to him. I can't.
Come on. Rap about the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Oh my gosh, you can't put him on the spot like that. Put him on the spot. A little freestyle. Alright. So I'm only half black, E-Money on the track. Got Ben Mac as my roommate. Hey, that's it, sorry.
That was very good, very good. Ben,
Yeah.
can you give us your best rap?
My first rap. This is my first ever rap. My name's Ben Mac. I don't know what I'm gonna say, but that's a rap.
There you go. Hey. So music preferences. What kind of music do you listen to?
I have to say I like country music. Ever since being in New Mexico for 3 years, it's all about country music now.
Let's see if Ben can show us a little two-stepping.
I need somebody to
Let's get a little two-stepping. Here we go. Yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna lead.
You're leading?
1, 2,
Hey.
1, 2, 1.
Come on, get your hips moving a little bit. Come on. What do you think about our two-stepping, E?
I mean, better than mine, so.
Very
I
good.
hope this doesn't go on.
Oh, this is definitely going on. All right, I'm Jordan Harvey, your host of Roommates on the Road. Ben McKendry, Eric Hurtado, Roommates on your road. See you guys next time.
I am famous.
Big time, first 45. Let's go. Come on. Ready? Go. We're gonna do it. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Come on, boys.
Welcome back to UBC David Sadu Field. We're at halftime. Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 leading Seattle Sounders 2 1-0 here. Craig McEwen, Mark Rogers in the broadcast booth, and on the whole, we talked just going into the break about how it was a good first half for the Caps. So I ask you now, if you're Alan Koch, what do you say to the guys as you go into the second to continue this trend?
Nothing changes. I think he just wanted to keep upbeat, keep positive in the dressing room. Make sure to emphasize the things that have gotten the Caps success in the first half. They've been good in possession. They've looked tidy on the attack. There's been an urgency to win the ball back high up the pitch. I think the only thing he could highlight is possibly just be even a little more reckless and ruthless around the other team's 18-yard box. Try and take chances to get your goals. But besides that, the Caps have been good. But one thing they have to do is be a little bit aware of Seattle's counterattack, because on the counterattack twice, Seattle's gotten into some very dangerous areas. And really, they'll feel a little hard done by that. They haven't cashed in at least one of those.
And when you take a look at the bench that Alan Koch has and the options that he has there, and some players, most notably Robin Earnshaw, do you expect that we might see the Welshman a little bit here just to get some legs and get a little bit of wind and get an opportunity to play?
Yeah, having 5 subs in this type of heat and implementing that kind of game plan where you're going to have to put a shift in to pressure a team that high up the pitch. Expect subs, especially around the 60-minute mark. I think he'll be a little bit hesitant to make any quick substitutions, bearing in mind that they are 1-0 in front. But he has some really nice pieces on the bench today, notably Earnshaw. He can come off and, you know, he's scored at every level of play he has, so Great to have that experience at your disposal.
Underway here at the second half of action at UBC. Beautiful Point Grey campus. WFC2 look to push forward through Brett Levi, then Christian Dean, the two players who were part of the first goal. As Levi goes down, referee Marquez blows a foul, and an awkward fall and maybe a knock of the head on the turf.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it, Craig. And I think if there's any question, they'll want to get the staff out there. Hot button topic right now, head injury. So we'll take no caution with Levi unless he's absolutely certain that he's okay. Yeah, just sweeps his leg out from behind him. Falls down awkwardly, bangs back of his head on the turf. Looks like he's okay. He's walked it off. Nice handshake between the two lads.
McKendry. Back to Nitty. Farmer. Anderson chasing him. Low heads that only as far as Dean. Roseland to Lewis.
Bit ambitious there. Love the endeavor though. And again, it's the two wide players coming narrow. Even in a more withdrawn area, Lewis comes in there to a pocket of space where Seattle doesn't know whether to go or stay. Love the enthusiasm of the young player to try and score from 40 yards. If he buries that one, that's goal of the year potential.
Well, he must have heard you say take your chances. Possibly maybe 18 yards and in, but nonetheless, a good opportunity for him to try and showcase his stuff. And as mentioned, these two Major League Soccer franchises, Cascadia rivals, but also doing a great job in developing young talent is Caleb Clark. Tries to hook his way around that ball, and referee Marquez blows it dead for the foul, but I think it shows the depth and the strength of both these organizations that they can put out this type of group of players in a game like this, when last night the top Seattle team played and tonight the top Vancouver team will be in action in Colorado.
Absolutely, it's been a very good game. It's been great on the eye for both teams. There's been chances aplenty, and a little bit of cat and mouse between two players. They're going tooth and nail for the ball previous. Now they're going tooth and nail on the position of the set piece.
Referee Marquez saying, I've had enough of that.
Comedy skit stuff.
All we need is the Benny Hill music.
But again, you know, it's some of the dirty work that Clark did first half that went a little unnoticed. That's the type of stuff that'll really get under the skin of a center back. Okay, that tomfoolery aside, he's chasing, he's pressuring, you know, he's battling. And, you know, that's something that if he can add consistently to his game, we know he has goals in him. But a little bit of a question mark on his day-to-day effort. And if he adds that, wow.
Kovar's cross there, looking for Garza, out for a goal kick. Carducci to Roseland, Farmer. Anderson running about, creating some havoc. Played out nicely though by WFC2. Levi to Clark, plays his anchor Roseland, who plays in Lewis on the right-hand side. Lewis stepping in, cuts it for Caleb Clark. And that ball's hooked away by Damian Lowe. And then a stop there by Lyon. Caleb Clark down. What a great opportunity here for WFC2 to make it 2-0.
What a great, incisive attack by the Caps. You know, Caleb Clark's putting his body on the line, putting it where it hurts, trying to get across to the goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper does ever so well. It's not just on the first cross, but also on the rebound, which was hit so cleanly by Lewis. Another good attack by the Caps, and you know, one of the highlights that we said, if there was any criticism, make the goalkeeper work, and they certainly did there.
Charlie Lyon sends it forward. Wisely, Christian Dean lets it go out. Clark and Lowe continue their battle.
Having a friendly chat there again. But as mentioned, those are the type of things as the half wears on, could draw, you know, a slightly inexperienced center back into some rashness. And, you know, I think Clark will try and continue to get under his skin.
Oh, Frano slipping away and forward. Garza now plays it straight to Sampson, who cuts it out nicely. Lewis with it. Ethan Sampson all the way up from the right back position. Clark. Lewis supporting him. Caleb Clark taking it down on his left foot. And has done well to win a corner kick and then limps gingerly off the end of the field.
Well, there's going to be more chances in this game, and either way. But even in that situation, you see a great little bit of skill from Frano on the right here. But the Caps don't get discouraged by that. They have nice shape behind them. They got bodies behind the ball, and when they get an opportunity to counterattack, they do very well. And again, Sampson doesn't need an invitation. He gets forward very well, beats the lines with the balls at his feet, and creates a corner opportunity here for the Caps.
First corner of the second half. Nitti with the shove in the back. That's caught by referee Marquez. As Craig Nitti tried to nod that back across the face of goal. Farmer wins that. Goes all the way back to Lowe. Mata. Nieli. Forward. O'Neill Fisher up on his left back position. Watched there by Sampson. Kovar pushing forward. Ethan Sampson, though, does well to not only win the ball, but get a foul there. Nice piece of defending by Ethan Sampson.
Yeah, he gets caught a little bit on the first ball forward, and it's a nice ball to release. The left midfielder for Seattle, Korvar. And but he recovers well, and when he gets an opportunity to get his footing, he gets in strong, draws the foul. Well played by Sampson.
Dean looking for Levi over the top. Brett Levi can't get around the bigger Damian Lowe, and it's out for a goal kick.
You just start to see players getting a little bit tired in their legs right now. I think both sets of managers will be looking to make a change at some stage soon. Inject a little bit of energy into their sides. Game's touch and go right now as far as opportunities for either side. Next goal is a vital one.
Clark can't bring that down. Lowe just hooks it forward. Looking for Anderson. Garza back towards Anderson. Foul there. Roseland from a dangerous spot. Last game for Seattle. Sam Garza just missed from a similar opportunity against Portland. And I would assume he'll be on the ball here for Seattle.
Both Garza and Kovar are both dangerous set-piece specialists.
And it is the left-footed Kovar. With it. Kovar sends it in. Nodded back, but fortunately for the Caps, Carducci's there to clear the lines. Ball falls back to Carducci. And it's out for a WFC 2 throw. Caleb Clark struggling again to bring that one down under pressure. Seattle wins possession. Mata switches it to O'Neal Fisher. Back to Sergio Mata. Garza up the right-hand side. Sam Garza cuts to his left foot. Cross just too heavy. And Sampson does well to make sure that does go out. Become a fan of the USL on Facebook for exclusive league news and interactive content. That's the USL on Facebook. Follow the USL at USL on Twitter to become a league insider. Join club conversations and have a chance at exclusive giveaways as well. Low forward, Farmer nodding that away. Olex Anderson around him. Long knocks it wide to Fisher. Caleb Clark over there. Try and slow things down. Kovar touches it inside to Mata. Back to Damian Lowe. Sergio Mata forward looking for Anderson. Farmer does well to get his head on that one. And Roseland wins the knockdown. Jackson Farmer has been a tower of power back there for WFC2 this afternoon.
He has, and it's a great point, Craig. On the second ball, it's vital that the Caps continue to win those second balls. Just gives a nice possession, gets them going forward, especially as the heat starts to get into their legs here.
Giuliano Frano plays it into Aaron Long. Farmer one more time winning the ball. Foul given there by referee Marquez. Taken quickly by S2 Garza with Frano making the run, and that's off Dean for a corner kick for S2.
Another opportunity for Seattle to get their big boys up from the back. As mentioned, the Caps will need to be wary in these situations. They've certainly created enough to be in front. It only takes a moment of switching off on a set piece that changes very quickly.
Aaron Kovar with the left-footed in-swinger. Sends it in. Carducci looks to go get it. Can't get there. Dean can't clear as well. Ball still bouncing about. But fortunately for Vancouver, Roseland away to Lewis. Levi racing forward. Dean racing forward as well. Christian Dean, the goal scorer. Neatly back to Brett Levi. Levi to Lewis. Watched there by Mata. Dean picks out Roseland. Caleb Clark open on the far side on the right, but that ball just overhit and out for a goal kick, but a nice quick counter by the Caps.
Yeah, they certainly did, and it was a bit scrappy in their 18-yard box. They stick to it, win the second, third, fourth ball, and counterattack well. What I liked is, once again, that final third, nothing's on. There's just the urge just to play a nothing ball forward. In the end, I think Rosen will be just a bit disappointed with the quality of his crossfield ball there. Still more positives from the Caps in possession.
Bustos taken out by Mata. Referee Marquez.
Young man's had a really good day at the office today. How often has he dropped in and gotten on the ball and faced their defense and caused problems? You just see as he turns, again, he's so willing and so quick to get forward. He draws the foul, and he can slow it down, and everybody can catch their breath now for the Caps, knowing that they have their nose just in front right now. I think both sets of managers will be looking to make a change sometime soon. You've definitely seen the pace of the game drop off in the last few minutes.
Nicely done there by Kovar. Picks out Mata. And then almost gives it straight away to Lewis. O'Neal Fisher playing the 1-2.
Well
Ethan Sampson stuck in. Wins the ball for Vancouver. Bustos. That shot deflects out for a corner kick, and the opportunity created by the strong defending from Ethan Sampson.
Yeah, he's had a really good day, and we've always known that about Ethan, is he's quick to put his foot in, but sometimes recklessly. Well, not today. When every time he's put his foot in, he's done it with intent, but he's done it very cleanly. Caps again, although they're not pressuring with the same energy they showed in the first half, obviously they're getting a little tired. Still winning the ball high up the pitch because they're nice and organized.
Dean comes racing up, and unfortunately his first touch lets him down, and now it's S2 away to the races. But look at Andre Lewis coming across the field to block that ball by O'Neill Fisher from the right-hand side to the left-hand side of the park, and defending is a lot about effort, and there was lots of effort there.
Well, you've seen Bustos, Lewis, and Levi all put a shift in both ways, and there's a great example of a guy that's breaking his neck for his team. He sees that there's danger on the counterattack, and he breaks his neck to get in a position to deny the crossfield pass there. Great work by Lewis defensively. You've seen it when Levi in the first half a couple times did something akin to that, trying to deny that crossfield ball. Because if that connects, now the Caps are stretching. It's a one-on-one situation.
Robert Earnshaw up, talking to Alan Koch. It looks like Ezra Hendrickson will be making a move or two here as well.
Great to see him still playing, Craig. I had the opportunity to play against him a few times in England with Cardiff. Not getting quite the same noise as he did at Ninian Park when they used to chant, "Ernie's gonna get ya." But he still has it in his legs. He's a lethal finisher, and you never lose that. The only problem is that as you get older, those chants become a little bit fewer and further between. But if he gets half a chance, watch him. He can bury it.
Pablo Rossi in for Victor Mansoure. And Garza is out as well. And Andreas Correa is in. Clark wins that one from low. Levi. Foul there by Damian Lowe. And this may be the chance to bring in Robert Earnshaw. So Correa is in, as well as Rossi for S2, and now Alan Koch will be making his first substitution as Robert Earnshaw will be coming in.
You see on this one, Craig, you see how clever Levi is. He takes his first touch away from the defender, just invites the tackle, manages to get his two legs across it. Not only does he get the free kick, but he also gets an opportunity to get Robbie Earnshaw into the game. Got to give a tip of a hat to Caleb Clark today. Did a lot of tireless work up there. Was a big part of their success in winning so many balls in the final third. Good day at the office for the young man. Although he didn't score, he certainly put a shift in for his teammates.
And also got under the skin of Damian Lowe a time or two as Earnshaw walks on and takes a look at this free kick with Nitty and Bustos. Lowe with the yellow card. Caution from referee Marquez.
I'm not sure who placed it, but Nitty standing beside Earnshaw is a little bit of an illusion.
Nitty does have a hit. And he hooks it just off the mark.
Shocked that Earnshaw didn't call him off it. Would have been a fantastic opener. Straight off the bench into a set piece. Experienced man, surprised the man from Wales didn't just pull off the center back from the set piece.
And for those who don't remember or didn't see it, Earnshaw did score against Seattle here. A poacher's goal. On a back pass, cut it out and slipped it in. Dean wins a header. O'Neill's Fisher's cross. Straight to Carducci, who sends it up looking for Earnshaw, but that's cut out by Miele. Low on the ball now for Seattle. looking for Anderson.
Lowe will be happy to see the back of Clark. He better keep his mind in it because Earnshaw, although he won't put in a battle like that, just needs half a yard to score a goal. Becomes a bit of a different battle for Lowe and the Seattle back four. It's just a concentration battle. And as the game wears on, you get tired and the heat gets into your legs. That becomes really the battle is all upstairs.
Sounders 2. Down a goal, appealing for handball there. Ball is out for a corner kick. On the run by Correa.
Caps will have to be a little careful there. You see a guy go to ground in the 18 from behind, doesn't make any contact. And then obviously Farmer's hands. Fortunately, they're by his side, so he doesn't get given a penalty, but those are the type of situations late in the game.
Rossi's corner kick falls there to O'Neill Fisher. Mata. What a cracker of a goal from Sergio Mata, and just like that, it's 1-1.
Brilliant goal by Mata. You know, Caps will be disappointed they didn't get a little more pressure on the ball, and the second ball's around their 18-yard box on the set piece. But that's not to take away from the quality Mata showed on that goal. Opens himself up onto his left foot, and there's only one thing he's going to do from there, and he just tries to whip it in at the back post. Not much of a chance for Carducci. You see, he sets himself wonderfully well onto his left foot, and he just whips it into that back post. Carducci's left fully extended, still can't get a hand to it. Just goes to show, just need a set piece, and if you go to sleep, they have the quality at this level and in these squads to punish it, and that's a great finish by Mata.
We'll see what WFC2 now has to answer as McKendry goes down on the foul. WFC2 have had some opportunities from free kicks as well here this afternoon.
Yeah, it's an obvious set piece, an obvious foul, and Seattle's been giving a lot of them away in their final third here. It's up, the onus now is on the Caps to punish them for that. Lots of bodies hovering around the ball, though, in a wider area. Probably a little more wise to get bodies around for the second ball, which they're doing now.
McKendry, with Dean pointing exactly where he wants it.
That's a nice cross again. Well defended by Seattle.
Lewis, back to Sampson. Sends it forward. Nitty can't flick it on. Back the other way comes Seattle, although Ethan Sampson cuts that one out as it was a ball forward for Anderson. Foul there by Fisher, who's moved out of the back four into the midfield here with the substitutions by Ezra Hendrickson. Dean, the WFC2 goal scorer, making his way up the park. Frano over to stop him, but more positive play from Christian Dean. Levi can't control. And sometimes in these moments, it's how you answer back, isn't it? Especially in a learning situation, an environment like this, when you get a goal, it's how you answer back.
Absolutely, and I think the Caps, you've seen a little bit of a boost in their energy level since they've conceded. Great test now for a young side. And for Seattle, they'll want to go on and win this game. There's plenty of time now for either team to get a winner.
WFC2 are back at Thunderbird Stadium this coming Friday, July 10th, for another Cascadia clash against Portland Timbers 2. Tickets only $15. Live music, food trucks, family activities, and a whole lot more. Good vibes had by all. Come on out to UBC, Thunderbird Stadium, to watch the Caps clash with Portland Timbers 2, July the 10th. Tickets just $15. Farmer. Be off to the Pan Am Games after this, along with Caleb Clark. Roseland Levi. It's again Brett Levi cutting across the face of goal, and unfortunately for him, doesn't really get a lot on that shot.
No, but he continues to get into that, hover around the D at the top of the 18-yard box, and good things happen in that area. It only takes one where he hits it cleanly. He's dragged a couple wide, but that won't deter him. He'll still try and get on the ball in that area.
Farmer, the free header. Earnshaw looks to chase, can't get there. Fisher. With McKendry watching him. O'Neill Fisher. Frano inside to the goal scorer Mata, who switches play. For Correa. Mata back on the ball. Courtesy of Kovar. Roseland does well to track back and win that. And now WFC2 look to move forward. Bustos dispossessed. There by Long. Ball through. Flag up for offside.
Ooh.
As Olex Anderson slipped in behind the back four.
Fantastic ball by Long. He sees that and he plays it inch perfect. Now he's looked tight to me, Craig, but certainly was fantastic look by Long. A little bit debatable on the foul there, but what a great searching pass. And if he's offside, he's definitely tight.
Nitty clatters into Anderson. Foul given on that collision.
This is the period of the game where it's crucial to stay focused. And easier said than done, dealing with high temperatures, high tempo Cascadian derby. But it's the first team that flinches and makes a mistake that'll cost them. And it's both teams will want to make sure that they stay focused on their jobs.
Earnshaw with his first real spell of possession here since coming on. McKendry loses the ball, and out it goes. And another substitution as Billy Schuler now will make his way into the match. Alan Koch making another substitution, and it appears that Marco Bustos will be making his way to the bench.
Good day at the office for the young man. Showed great endeavor getting on the ball in deep areas, getting facing Seattle, getting them playing forward urgently. Even had a couple opportunities to get himself a goal. But I think he'll be happy with his outing.
Kendry to Sampson. Closed down quickly there by Kovar. Farmer steps up with Anderson looking at him, then gives it straight away, and this could be trouble for Vancouver. The long try from Rossi blocked. WFC2 now move forward. Schuler looking for it. That's easily gathered by Charlie Lyon.
Well, you can expect even more subs here, Craig. You really can see the heat getting into the players' legs now.
Earnshaw. Head up, head down.
I've seen him score from there before. Give the old man a pass.
Nitty up and win that header for Vancouver. Levi with O'Neill Fisher on him. Frano steps up nicely. Fisher plays it forward. Rossi nods it on. Advantage played for a little bit, and now the referee Marquez whistles it back for a foul.
Good management by the ref. recognizing the advantage, and the minute he recognized that it wasn't on, called it back. Looks like Schuler's going to play in a little bit more advanced position, almost like a 4-4-2. You see him dropping back defensively. Alan Koch recognizing something in the Seattle back four that he can take advantage of.
Aaron Kovar over the ball with under 15 minutes to go here at UBC. 1-1 your score. Away by McKendry. Damian Lowe. Lewis watching him. Earnshaw pressuring Lyon. Safety first. Plays it up, but Sampson wins that ball for Vancouver. Now races up the right-hand side. Gives it straight away, though. Would love to have that one back. Good work by Roseland. Levi. Roseland tries to play it to Sampson. He loses it to Rossi. Fisher. Forward for Anderson. Flag up for offside. He's certainly not afraid to try and spring Olex Anderson.
No, you'd want to set him off to the races. He's greasy fast, but both teams starting to give away ball a little bit cheaply in the midfield as they get tired. And you can see that both managers recognize that, are making more changes to try and inject a little bit more life. Both managers will recognize that this game is there to be won.
Victor Blasco in for Andre Lewis.
I think Lewis will be happy with his first game back since going on international duty. Showed a lot of life, not just attacking-wise, but also defensively.
Duncan McCormick in for Seattle, and Aaron Kovar is out. Blasco try and get involved right away. Roseland spies McKendry, who has Dean, and that's where it goes. Earnshaw spinning away from his marker. Schuler lays it off to Roseland. Sampson with it. Decides to go inside. The 1-2, Ethan Sampson. Saw the left back, Christian Dean, score off a give and go with Brett Levi. Both of them on the ball here. Maybe Ethan Sampson wanting a little more. Levi cuts inside. Brett Levi!
Oh,
just over top. Lickety split. Brett Levi dashing in on goal and just missing the mark.
yeah, again, the same joy that created the first goal for the Caps shows its head again. Levi and Dean combining ever so well down the left-hand side for the Whitecaps. Some nice possession around the 18-yard box as well, and it results in an opening for Levi. Just can't get the ball to settle onto his right foot, and pressure from the Seattle fullback put him off his shot. But more good work in the attacking area from the Whitecaps.
Some substitutions made and some life now on both sides as the tempo picks up. Under 12 minutes to go here at UBC.
Yeah, both teams will be looking. This is a game to be won for both sides. Not a classic example of a dour 1-1 or 0-0. There's been chances aplenty, and you see with the injection of new legs, speed of the game's been given a little boost. Both teams will be looking to go and grab all three today.
Dean. His cross straight out for a goal kick.
Couple step overs by the big center back, turned full back. Love the work and he's done today. He just wants to get forward all the time. You can see some in positions like that, he's probably not as comfortable as a lively little jinky fullback, but still, it's only going to make him a better center back down the road.
Frano forward looking for Rossi. Won by Nitty. Schuler. Roseland to Sampson. McKendry. Correa knocking him off the ball, out for a throw-in.
Classic example, the honest Canadian there. I think as he develops his game, once he gets that contact, it's the ugly part of the game, but he in these stages of the game, he can get a free kick into that in that area. Would have been a nice position for the Caps to be in.
Anderson to O'Neill Fisher. And we talk about the ugly side of the game. O'Neill Fisher trying to draw a foul there on Brett Levi. Referee Marquez having none of it.
Fisher's trying to give me a segue into that, but I'm not going to go to the bait.
It's almost like they've been listening to you here this afternoon. Good step by Sampson. Throw-in taken quickly to Rossi. Earnshaw calmly back to Farmer, who does well to slip away and play it out to Sampson. His ball, though, nodded away by Miele. And Farmer not taking any chances there. Lowe steps up, nods it forward, and a bit of ping pong back and forth. And now Vancouver will look at creating something here on the left-hand side one more time. Levi pushed down, pulled down, and draws the foul.
How many set pieces has he drawn in that exact same area? And it all comes from a willingness to take players on. I love that about this kid from Saskatoon. You know, he's not embarrassed to try and take guys on and maybe make the odd mistake. See, every time he gets it, he's desperate. Even though he's in a 2-on-1 situation, he's desperate to get at the first defender and then see what happens from there. And in the end, worst case scenario for him, he draws a set piece. It's onus now on the Caps to punish them in these areas.
Ben McKendry. It's Christian Dean pointing to a little opening in front. McKendry plays it to the back post, and Christian Dean wanting it to go maybe into that spot right at the near post or just a little bit past.
That's an area of the game that the Caps will want to improve on for sure. They've gotten some set piece in some great areas, and frankly, up until that moment, McKendry's supplied them with some good service. Now, we've mentioned Seattle has a very athletic team, big, strong, and they've dealt very well with set piece against the Caps today. From a Caps perspective, they'll want to make sure they do show a little bit more danger in their final third on those set pieces.
Rossi racing away. Sampson looks to get back and slow him up, and he does that. McCormick. Mata. Back to Rossi. With Olex Anderson lurking. Marco Carducci lets that go out. But a good chance there for S2. Have you visited the new USLsoccer.com? Get the latest news and live stats. Check out the new social media hub. That's USLsoccer.com. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer info. Nitty watching Anderson. McCormick. Mata. Sends across in. Dean with O'Neill Fisher on his back. Christian Dean nods it out and gives Seattle an opportunity on the corner kick, although maybe fortunately for them, the left footer Kovar is on the bench now.
Well, you can just see it's a young goalkeeper. Dean's in a difficult position. He plays it safe, which he rightfully should, in a position where he doesn't know what's going on behind him. Carducci gives him the thumbs up because that's probably what he wanted, but you know, a confident goalkeeper calls him for just a little back header. Opportunity again for Seattle to punish them on the corner.
Good ball whipped in. Dean does well though to get his head on that.
Perfect defensive header, height, distance. Make them, then you defend a throw in, not a second ball.
More substitutions now for Vancouver. Jovan Blagojevic in for Brett Levi. Lowe steps up, decides to have a crack. 30 yards, and that's off the mark.
Again, Levi will be happy with his day's work as well. All three of the guys playing in behind Clark to start the game, I felt, put a good shift in for the Caps today. Definitely got into some wonderful areas, with disappointment being that he didn't cash in. He set the table wonderfully for Dean on the Caps' first goal, or on the first goal of the game.
Nitty. Blasco to McKendry. Closed down quickly there, but does well to find Nitty. Dean trying to play into Earnshaw, but Damian Lowe wins that. Nitty with Anderson on him. Sends it forward. Mata. Straight to McKendry. Sampson with it. Farmer. 1-1 the score. Blasco tries to play in Earnshaw. Under 4 minutes to go plus stoppage time. McKendry pushing forward. Earnshaw. Victor Blasco looks to run at his player. Blasco can't get around Damian Lowe.
Again, they get into a nice area, Craig. And even though they don't create anything, it's still a willingness to take players on. Try and get to the byline, deliver across, but it's well defended by Lowe.
Ashani Fairclough entering now. With just a few minutes left to play here at UBC. As Mata, the goal scorer here, leaves. 5 substitutions apiece for both sides here in the USL. Both managers making sure they utilize the resources on the bench as both teams push for a victory here late at UBC. Anderson, watch closely there. McCormick. Wins a Seattle throw. Sampson to Christian Dean. Robert Earnshaw comes looking for it, back to Dean. Victor Blasco steps inside on his right, looking for Schuler.
Oh.
Schuler in behind. Billy Schuler, can he finish it? Back to Blasco! Victor Blasco, money. Thanks to Billy Schuler, it's 2-1 Caps.
Well, if you want to make an impression off the bench, that is exactly how you do it. We saw him take on a fullback a few minutes ago. Doesn't get anything out of it. Does that deter him? No. He gets out of the guy. What a wonderful interchange again with him and Schuler. Both well-worked goals by the Caps. And Schuler just gets into a great area and doesn't panic. You know, he sees, he commits the goalkeeper, sets Blasco for an easy tap-in. Wonderful goal. Both well-worked goals by the Caps today.
WFC 2 up a goal here late at UBC. First of the season by Victor Blasco.
What a ball into Schuler on the first pass, and Schuler rewards him for that pass by doing likewise for Blasco to get his goal. Caps will be delighted by getting that goal so late in the game. Just have to stay on there, stay focused, see it out.
Schuler again with Blasco on the left. Can he get another one? Blasco!
Oh.
Yes, he can! 2 goals in a matter of a few minutes, and it's 3-1 Vancouver.
Well, I don't know if Blasco and Schuler room together, but they should start. Fantastic combination again. They're not happy just with the first one. Just like Motto on the Seattle goal, opens himself up, whips it in the back post. That should be it for the Caps now. Well deserved as well. Three very well taken goals, Craig.
And just like that, 2 goals for Victor Blasco. And now a huge hill to climb here in stoppage time for Seattle as Farmer hooks it away. Miele forward. Rossi. Once again, Jackson Farmer has just been a rock on the back line for Vancouver. Stuck his head in well there and won it. And
hasn't put a foot wrong yet, Craig. He's had a very good day at the office. Will leave good memories for Coach Alan Koch, so when he returns to the Pan Am Games, we'll just point to this performance.
McKendry. Oh,
nice feet.
Earnshaw, tricky bit of skill there to win it. And now WFC2 will just try and keep possession and wind down the final seconds here on the clock out of UBC. Earnshaw gives it away. Correa. McCormick. Fairclough, the substitution. His first real opportunity. Dean nods away. As Caps skipper Alan Koch stands and watches the final action of play here. Schuler away, he's hauled down. Referee Marquez blowing that dead.
Well, if they haven't already, I'm sure Blasco and Schuler will be knocking on the manager's door concerning starting next game. Both guys have come on and given the Caps such a lift. And we talked about when those legs are starting to get heavy, it's a team that can really just lift their game that little bit. They'll likely look to edge it. Both those boys have given a real good lift here in the second half. To combine on 2 goals so late in the game, Craig, coming off the bench and taking the time to get to the speed of the game is a real challenge. It didn't face those 2 guys. It's a great example for any young player is don't put your head down if you're put on the bench. You get an opportunity to come on, that's what happens.
And the final whistle is blown here out at UBC. What a big victory for WFC2 in a Cascadia clash. Going up a goal, conceding one, but then racing back late with a couple of markers from Victor Blasco. This has to do a lot for the team's confidence.
Oh, it just shows the resilience in a young side. Didn't phase them. They went 1-0 down, and how often do you see the team that scores that second goal run away with it? Didn't happen today, and all the guys that came off the bench and replaced the starters gave the Caps what they're meant to do, is give them a lift, and they certainly did that. And all 3 Whitecaps goals, it's not just the fact they scored them. They're all taken with such wonderful quality. I think Alan Koch will be over the moon, not just beating a Cascadia rival, but a very good opponent as well. And in the way they did it, he'll be super pleased with the performance his young team has put out for him today.
And as a manager, the way you maneuver the pieces around, he must be extremely excited and happy with the fact that these guys went on and as you said, were difference makers.
Oh, they certainly were. I mean, you can see the game coming to a lull around the 60th minute mark, and both managers were clued into that and started making quite a few changes and using as many of their 5 subs as they could. But when they went in, I was complimenting all the guys that were coming off the pitch, but the guys that went in didn't let the standard drop. In fact, they lifted it. They just gave a little bit more energy, resulting in Blasco getting a couple just wonderful goals and great interplay with Schuler. Like I mentioned, if they're not rooming together, they should start immediately.
A 3-1 victory here out at UBC. We should mention the WFC2 back in action at Thunderbird Stadium this coming Friday, July the 10th. Guess what? Another Cascadia clash. This time the Portland Timbers 2 come to town. Tickets, $15. Live music, food trucks, family activities, and I'm guessing a whole lot more goal scoring. Make sure you come on out. to the Point Grey campus, David Sadu Field, and catch WFC2 in action Friday, July the 10th against the Portland Timbers 2. Well, a big victory here for WFC2. Now it's the big club's turn. The MLS Vancouver Whitecaps in action in Colorado, 6 o'clock Pacific time. Make sure you tune in and watch that one, and it could be a daily double here for this club and franchise. Fantastic afternoon, sun, fun, and a big victory for WFC2. On behalf of Mark Rogers and everyone here, I'm Craig McEwen. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all again on Friday night.